End of May, they sent a letter to all the bars and restaurants on North Main Street asking they were going to do an audit. They were asking for a few things. They wanted to see every food and liquor and beer and wine invoice from 2016 and 2017. We printed it up. It was, the original bill was $13,000 at Office Max. With our Retail Connect card, which we get discounts on printing, it brought it down to $3,600, and it was 23 full boxes of just receipt paper. And we brought it over to City Hall. We had to rent a truck to bring it over there to get it from Office Max and get dollies to bring it up there. And they still never, eventually we got a letter that says we passed the audit, but they never enforced that original rule.
Speaker is Curtis Wilcoxon, 208 North Main, speaking in reference to Council Bill 12622.
You have the numbers to set that bar for people with food. You have the numbers to find out what you can tax and where you can tax to get the cleanup you need, to get the police that you need. I feel like there's an opportunity here, especially after the audit. Those people, there might have been bad apples that disqualified themselves based on that alone. It just wasn't done for years. And now that it's done, we have that information. And to change the bar and to set different rules for the people that have been working hard to meet your expectations is wrong. I find that unconstitutional. I feel like there's a better way to do it.
Over the past couple of years, there's been a lot of communication amongst shop owners on Main Street. In general, there's been things like a lot of vandalism, and then just in general with somewhat of the reputation changing of the street. And I'm seeing more of the restaurant and bar owners engaging in that conversation with the other shop owners, because many of them do also see, yes, we do have a problem and let's work towards it.
I'm not aware of any person that's bar or restaurant that is for the legislation. When they first wrote this legislation, they were talking about how it was a safety issue. The mayor was on the news back in February saying that Main Street's safe. Bring your family and your kids down here. I mean, I wouldn't have a 6-year-old down here at midnight on a Saturday. I'm not saying it's not safe, but a 6-year-old shouldn't be out at midnight on a Saturday.
In the 12 years we've been here, we have not personally had major problems resulting from vandalism. We've had minor things. Just this year, we decided for the first time to try leaving flower pots out in front of our store, because we've always been a little afraid of doing that. And I've had 2 stolen and 1 destroyed by someone who was intoxicated and walked down the street and just decided to throw it down and break it.
Next speaker is Penny Pittman, 105 North Main, speaking in reference to Council Bill 12622.
We all started this journey on the liquor license bill because we ran into a lot of people saying that there were problems at night and the bad bars were not being taken care of. I believe that the new point system and the new commission will be positive things and will help control the situation and make people aware of what's going on and make it possible to take care of the bad apples and make sure that the good apples can exist.
The majority of the tax revenue that's brought in on Main Street is from the bars and restaurants, who also collect tourism tax that goes to support the other businesses down here. If it's all liquor licenses, that could be a gas station. You could see gas stations closing because they're selling, if they sold to 3 minors in the course of a year, that's enough points to close a gas station. We actually got assigned a point this past week, and we're the first bar or restaurant in the whole city of St. Charles to get assigned a point, and it was over 2 people who got in a fight. Our security did their job. We broke it up. We alerted the police arrested the person who started it, and now we could possibly lose our business over this. What's to stop the bar next door, if they don't like me, from coming in here and staging a fight?
I mean, I've heard people say, well, what if somebody just wants to cause a problem for a bar and they go start a fight there? Then that's going to affect that bar negatively, even though it's not really their fault. So there are some things that could potentially have a negative impact on those businesses if there's people who want to cause them harm, which I would hope wouldn't happen, but you just never know. Earlier this year, I looked at the map of Main Street and I counted 17 liquor licenses within a 3-block area on North Main Street. For me, I think that's the biggest problem, is over the years there's been no way to keep that number from growing.
City Council had to approve these liquor licenses, and I think it caught up to them eventually that they had issued too many.
That's possible, that maybe they're trying to kind of force the hand of those people to say, find a way to make it work so that you're selling more food than alcohol.
There's different ways that some of the businesses down here, if they're worried about it, they could shift their books a little bit. I mean, if you came in and you ordered a rum and Coke, you could say, okay, I need $1 for the rum and $4 for the Coke. Short term, if a few of the neighbors close, it might help our business a little bit, but long term, if our neighbors are closed, then it's going to hurt this district. A lot of people come down to this district to walk around and to go to different bars and restaurants and shop and dine, but if we've got boarded up windows because the city's closing down some of the restaurants, it's going to take years to recover from that.
There's no place on the street that, I want to see closed. But I think that the overall environment and reputation needs to be preserved, and I know that there are places that are likely going to have to close in order for that to happen.
Diana Nigel, 208 North Main, speaking in reference to Council Bill 12622.
I came down to a festival down here 4 years ago. I lost my house in the '93 flood and I was finally back in St. Charles. I found Lloyd and Harry's and I was ready to come home. I have done everything right since day one, and now I'm going to be punished for doing the right thing. I don't understand that. I came here back to your city. I found a house on 2nd Street to move my family. Now I'm scared to make that move because you guys are going to change all this. The number said 200,000. Why are we all being punished when we have done nothing wrong? I don't understand that. I want to stay in St. Charles, but when you pass this bill, you will be forcing us to leave, and that's not fair.